Hey, I want to talk to you about how a nation loses its way and becomes morally decadent and falls away from things that seem to be common sense. And I want to read to you from the book of Romans chapter 1. It says, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For God's invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made, for they are without excuse." That's talking about how the creation screams about the absolute positive existence of a creator. Okay, you can see the things. It says, "So they are without excuse. For although they knew God," this is about people. They knew God. They knew about God. They could see God's handiwork. They did not honor him as God or give him thanks, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools. And they exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man and birds and animals and creeping things. Now, it's speaking about how people rejected God. They had evidence looking around them. They chose to reject God, and they created their own things to worship. Now, watch what God did as a result. Therefore, because of this rejection of God, God gave them up. God gave them over. You say God gives up on us? No, God will give in and allow us to pursue the futile things that our hearts desire, even when it means we're rejecting him. God gave them up in the lust of their hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged, here's the reason, they exchanged the truth of God, about God, for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. This term, God gave them over. This is what's happened in America. God has given us over to, we've rejected him, and God has said, go ahead and now live life without me. How's it working out, by the way? Let me continue. I want you to see the scriptures. Verse 26. "For this reason, because of the rejection of God, God gave them up to dishonorable passions. For their woman exchanged the natural relations for those that are contrary to nature." He's talking about women being sexual with women. Okay. "And the men likewise gave up natural relations." God is talking about sex between a man and a woman as natural. "And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty of their error." Some people say the Bible is not clear about some of these sexual issues we're facing in America. Seem pretty clear to you? Seems pretty clear to me. Verse 28, "And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up." He gave them over to a debased mind, to do what ought not to be done. "They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, and ruthless." Does that sound like America today? I was in New York City this past week, and they're giving away PlayStations, and a riot among 3,000 breaks out. Just 2 blocks away from where I am, a bunch of teenagers rioting because there weren't enough PlayStations given out. This is what our nation has become, and it's because we've rejected God. Let me just finish 2 more verses. Actually, 1 more verse. "Though they know God's righteous decree that those who practice such things deserve to die, they not only do them, these kind of things, but they give approval to those who practice them." We live in a nation that has been given over by God to do the things that we desire to do. And here's the biggest thing I want you to realize. The church has also given in to these practices. We can expect the world to reject God, but when the church begins to reject the things of God, then God gives us over as well. There's no hope for a country without a church, a righteous and holy church. And I want to call Christians. I'm not here to bash America. People that don't know God, I'm not going to bash them. They don't know God. But in the church, we must get back to the holiness and the righteousness that God desires from us. And when we do that, perhaps God will no longer give America over. But right now, He has given us over. And we as the church, we need to stand up. Remember what I said to you recently. If there were 10 righteous men in Sodom, God would not have destroyed them. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah not because of their sin, because of a lack of righteousness. Let's not allow America to be destroyed. We know about America's sin, but let's not allow America to be destroyed because there's a lack of righteousness. Church, rise up, stand up, and be the holy people God desired. God bless you.